Worm Hat. This is a video on the heat dome, and specifically how the heat dome proves that we live under a dome. And it's a form of mocking, the way that they call this a heat dome, because it's referencing the firmament. We live under a dome, the firmament. Genesis 1 is true. Go read the Bible, Genesis 1, and you will not get outer space fantasy land from that. Genesis 1 is truth. That's the reality that we live in, and they have to present the truth to us. It's just one of the ways that they operate. It's disclosure. So if you want to know the truth about where you live, they've been telling us where we live the whole time in the Bible. Well, God's been telling us in the Bible. And so here, the sweltering situation, they love alliteration, but I picked this one. If you want to read any of these slides, go ahead and pause it. I'm not going to read everything on them. But here, I just wanted to show you what a UCLA climate scientist has to say. A heat dome is really just a sort of a colloquial term for a persistent and or strong high pressure system that occurs during the warm season, with the end result being a lot of heat. Wow, thank you, UCLA climate scientist Danielle Swain. And Swain is kind of an interesting last name. But I just thought that blurb is just a perfect example of how these people are phonies. They don't know what they're talking about. Just because somebody has a PhD doesn't mean anything. I have experience in academia, and those are some of the dumbest people. Just because somebody has a diploma, that doesn't mean anything. A title doesn't mean anything. And there's a reason that people often talk about having imposter syndrome. It's because they're phonies. They may not even know that they're phonies, but the reason they feel like phonies is because they are. They believe in false systems. And I just picked this because I've never heard of this place, Muskegon, Michigan. And I think a lot of times it's the devil is in the detail. Maybe they're sending certain messages to people. I didn't check the gematria of this Muskegon, Michigan thing, but when I think Michigan, I've never heard of Muskegon. So why did they choose this city out of anything? 9 straight days with highs of over 9, a repeating 9. I don't know, and then another 9 here. So see, 9 straight days over 90, and then they say 90 again. 999 is upside down 666. I don't know if that's exactly why they did that, but just giving you an example of the type of number play that they like to do. They would like to have 3 9s in the same paragraph because it's an inverted 666, for example. They give some explanations. You can pause this if you want. I don't know why a heat dome happens, but what a heat dome is proves that it's a closed system. They give some explanations for how it happens. They say it has something to do with the oceans the year before. I don't know, maybe it does. Here they talk about some PV equals nRT stuff. Some science is real. It's just that the box that they put it in, this whole outer space fantasyland box that they put science under, the box is wrong, but PV equals nRT is a real thing. And so that's just why I picked this one. So the same air that's up 80 degrees, if you bring it down to the surface in a high pressure system, it increases the temperature. I just want to show that, not everything that they say is BS. They have to have some grains of truth into what they're saying, but it's the whole story that they sell you about outer space. That's the false reality. So here I just thought this was interesting. Tropical air getting pulled into the dome. I just thought that was strange imagery. As Swain puts it to Wired, heat domes start to feed off of themselves, kind of like the Ouroboros. That's what I instantly thought of. Feeding off themselves, like the Ouroboros, the snake that's eating its tail. They like that idea. This talking about the atmosphere's height was kind of interesting. The atmosphere gets taller. In parts of the Southwest, the atmosphere's midpoint by mass is 500 feet higher than usual. Just kind of an interesting concept that you don't hear talked about. Here, I just wanted to really quickly talk about, it is really hot outside, and isn't it interesting that, so the coronaviruses, the family of viruses that they call coronaviruses, it's a known thing. You can find in medical textbooks that it's the common cold. It's what causes the common cold, or it can cause the common cold. And it's the middle of summer, and it's super hot, and they're telling people to wear masks. But then look at this. The combination of heat and humidity can take its toll on someone who's outside overdoing it. They're making people wear masks outside now. So it's clear that the government, and it honestly goes into this Talmudic thing. They like to indirectly make people hurt themselves. Well, you decided to put the mask on when you went outside just because you heard somebody tell you to do it. They they don't think of it as them hurting you because you did it to yourself. There's just this strange Kabbalistic, I don't know, Talmud logic about they think it's okay to make people hurt themselves. And because they can just say, well, all I did was say something. I didn't actually hurt you. You hurt yourself. 1 in 3, they love to talk about 1 in 3. It's 33%. And here, yeah, so here they're talking about people don't want to run their AC because they don't have money because a lot of people lost their jobs. And just a lot of people's ACs are broken. Air conditioning. My air conditioning's broken right now. It sucks. It is really hot. It's terrible, but I'm doing okay. These are the kind of people, these long-faced, unicoid facial elongation. Have you ever known people that are obsessed with that? My family, they love to tell the joke about, a horse walks into a bar. Why the long face? I think they like to make these long face jokes because eunuchs have long faces. Have you ever wondered why do so many celebrities look like horses? Unicoid facial elongation. They got the cool CGI. Okay, talking about smashing records, and I guess this is just where I'll talk briefly about global warming, climate change. It's end times prophecy. It's Isaiah prophecy. The moon and the sun are brighter than they used to be. And along with that, hotter, and the moon is colder. They'll never tell you this in school, but the moon's light is cold. So the reason that they had to flip it to climate change from global warming is because not only are our summers hotter than they used to be, but the winters now are crazier than they used to be. So that's why they've changed it from global warming to climate change, because it's like both ends of the spectrum. Our summers are crazier and our winters are crazier. And yeah, I'll just keep it at that. Let's just get to the stuff. I just want to get to the heat dome. Okay, how does this work? Just look at the picture too. They love orange. Orange is 33. Orange is the only color that's 33. They love using orange. How do you have a high pressure system on top? So this is the thing about their outer space lie is that it doesn't even make sense. It contradicts laws of physics that they will teach us about. One thing that we know is high pressure systems move towards low pressure systems. What's more low pressure than what they tell us outer space fantasyland is? That's a vacuum. It's zero pressure. So what is keeping this high pressure system from escaping to outer space? Why doesn't this high pressure system fly off to outer space? And it's because it's trapped under a dome, just like this picture shows you. We have a high pressure system trapped under the top of the dome. You live under a dome. It's called the firmament. You cannot have a high pressure system that would just go off to outer space. But outer space is not real. I mean, I think that's something that just everybody has instinct, at least people with discernment. We've known, hey, how does a ball with air around it keep that air around it from getting sucked off to the vacuum? We know that is nonsense. But this should be extra nonsense. Now, not only do we have just allegedly our atmosphere is clinging on to this spinning hurling ball going through a vacuum, now we have a high pressure system up higher in the atmosphere, and that's just not going off to outer space. It's just chilling. How's that supposed to work? Okay. Heat dome. How high pressure acts as a lid on the atmosphere. That doesn't make any sense. The lid of the atmosphere should be close to outer space, which is a vacuum, which is a low pressure. So what is keeping the high pressure system from getting sucked out to outer space? It's because outer space is not real. We live under a dome, the firmament. That's how this phenomenon can happen. This can happen because there is a lid on us, because it's a closed system. I loved these things. They go crazy with the CGI. It's CGI. A bunch of nonsense. How do you have a high pressure Hadley cell? Oh my gosh. All these bozos too. They'll be inverts. It's just creepy when you like actually sit back and think about it. Oh, Bigfoot sighting. Heat dome. I just wanted to point this out because some people have been noticing a lot of 88 coding coming up. A lot of 88s recently, and heat dome reduced as 8 in Pythagorean and 8 in Chaldean. And it's one of those matching. It's very rare to find something that it matches in Pythagorean and Chaldean. And we have that with heat dome. It's 35, which also is a multiple of 7. It's 5 times 7. So definitely some gematria stuff going on with heat dome. Purple and orange. Purple and orange are their colors, especially when they have them presented together like this. It's a really obvious calling card. Purple and orange. Biodome, the human experiment. We are under a biodome. We are a biodome. In the song Carrie by Joni Mitchell, these are illuminated individuals, people who are able to become these icons. They know about this stuff. The night is a starry dome. Yes, it is. The night is a starry dome. It's a reason why The Simpsons did it. It's a reason why Hillary Clinton would constantly talk about the glass ceiling. Shatter that highest, hardest glass. They cannot shatter it. It's the firmament. God made it. And they can't break through it. They have tried. They can't. They're stuck. It's the reason why Flatten the Curve became a huge thing. It's because it's mocking. The curve is flat. There is no curve. The earth is flat. That's why this became a thing. It's the reason why people mock it relentlessly. Liars mock the truth. So that's why they mock flat earth, because it's the truth. Reddit is orange 33. Look, Reddit is orange, which is 33. And look at the Reddit icon. It's a little robotic creature with an antenna, which is a 7. The antenna is a 7 too. But they're little robot creatures getting their information from the hive, the AI hive. Reddit's 33. This is the new WoW. World of Warcraft has a new expansion coming out, and look at the firmament is broken open. That was the big climax of the trailer for this new World of Warcraft. The firmament broke open, and in the end, the firmament is going to roll open like a scroll. It's biblical. I'll just end with this. Everybody should know this. This is just something that everybody should know. Wernher von Braun, one of the major developers of rocket technology, a pioneer, and I just realized pioneer. Look at the first 4 letters. Peon. They're peons. A pioneer of rocket and space technology in the United States. They're just little puppets, but they'll use their puppet stories to tell you the truth. Died in 77. What do you know? Psalm 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Praise God. Praise Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the Messiah, and he's the only way out of here. God bless everyone.